So you got fired, you got laid off, it's done. So what are you going to do next? What are you going to do after you've been fired or laid off? Join me today, we'll talk about it. Hey everyone, it's Milton, that man on a mission. Hope you're having a great day. Just wanted to come by to share a little knowledge with you, some things I've experienced, some things I've been through. So last few videos I've talked about getting fired, moving on from that. So today I just want to briefly come back and share about 5 or 6 things that I think you need to do once you've been fired or laid off from the job. But before I do, just remember to like, comment, and subscribe to the videos. Please go back and check out the video of I got fired to kind of give you a backstory of what we're going to be talking about going forward. So again, please like, comment, and subscribe. I appreciate all the comments that you guys have been giving. It's been a great conversation. I think there are a lot of people that are dealing with this, and this is a great space to talk about it in. So like, comment, subscribe, reach out to me. I'm doing consulting now, MiltonCraft Consulting. Just check all the links in the description. It'll tell you how to reach me, how to contact me, how to set up coaching, and all those great things. So today I want to briefly talk about what do you do after you've been fired or laid off. So just think about it. You were at work, and all of a sudden you get called into the office by HR or by the executive director, and they sit you down. Before you know it, you've been fired. So immediately you're traumatized. You're in shock. You're in awe. You're like, I don't know what this was, what happened, what just happened. How do I process this? How do I move on? So my advice, the first thing to do, just take a moment and just acknowledge the fact that you were let go. You have to acknowledge it and be okay with it because it's done. So you're traumatized in the moment. So the first thing is realize that you're traumatized. So you're in shock in the moment, and it hits you hard. But you got to go on from there. So once you get over that initial shock, you got to start figuring out, what am I going to do next since I've been fired or laid off? So the thing that I said first is process what happened. Process the fact that you were let go or fired or laid off, and you have to just acknowledge that that's real. It happened. It's done. It's something that I've got to accept. Now I got to figure out how I'm going to move on. So first thing I would do is you go home, cry, whatever you need to do, get that out. Take your day or two to process. Then we need to get back on the grind. First thing is you need to assess your habits. What habits do you have? That's your spending habits, the things that you do each and every day. You need to start laying out, okay, what do I spend money on every week? What are some things that I can cut as far as my money and financial needs? Do I need to cut some subscriptions, some memberships? Do I need to cut how much money I loan to my family and friends? Figure out what those habits are that you spend money on, because you have to realize that money that you used to get on a monthly and weekly basis is no longer coming in. So you have to review those habits so you can make the smart decisions on what habits do I need to change. I like subscriptions because I think I've got some I didn't even know I had. And so that's on me. So you guys may be in the same boat. So check out those Prime, those ESPN, those gambling subscriptions, whatever subscription or fan base, I don't know what they call it, FanDuel or whatever you call it. Check out those magazine subscriptions that you really don't even realize you have until they come in the mail, like, oh, where does this come from? And that's a cost. So check out those spending costs that you have that you haven't paid attention to. Next thing is, I would say, look at your emergency funds. How much money do you have put aside for a rainy day? How much money have you saved over the years just in case something like this was to happen? Do you have funds to take care of you during this short time that you're unemployed? So look at your emergency funds. Realize that this is what I have. Figure out a budget to survive until you find another job or something to do, until you can find a thing that you really want to get back into. So knowing what you have in your emergency fund is really, really critical. Because here where I am in the state that I'm in, when I got laid off, I got unemployment. But based on what your salary was, the unemployment doesn't touch it anywhere. It's nowhere near. You make more in a week than you get in 4 weeks in unemployment. Think about that for a minute. But they want you to sustain yourself and your livelihood while you're looking for a job. You just can't do it with unemployment. So as far as emergency funds, you may have to find a part-time job, a part-time gig, something to do while you're trying to decide what you're going to do next before you go out looking for that next big job. So even if you're going to start your own business, you may need to look at getting some funds to help you get that going if that's not part of your emergency fund. So think about that. What emergency funds do I have? What do I need to do in order to get ready to go to the next step? And the next thing is we have to be strategic about this. Develop a plan. First thing we want to do when we get laid off or fired, we want to go and work on our resume. We want to start changing our resumes, changing dates, doing this and that. But have we researched how resumes are being done in 2025? Now, what you did in 98, 2001, some of you may not be that old, but in 2000 is no longer relevant today. Look at some of the things that resumes are requiring today. Because some of us, like me, you didn't apply for certain jobs. You were given certain jobs based on who you were and your criteria. But some of us have to apply for jobs, and we use that resume to do it. So make sure you take time to research and study everything that resumes are requiring these days, because it's no longer like it used to be. Some resumes, you can put a job summary. Some resumes don't require a job summary. Some resumes want you to list references. Some resumes don't want you to list references. So you have to realize what is needed in today's resume, and you need to make sure that you do that. And another thing, next thing will be leverage all of the contacts that you have. The relationships you've built over the years, the connects you've built over the years, those friendships you built over the years. Leverage all of that stuff to your advantage. Reach out to a friend, reach out to a colleague, reach out to somebody you think may have an insight on something that could help you. Leverage those things. That's nothing to be ashamed of when you go back and say, hey, look, hey, I'm looking for a job. Is there anybody you know, anything you can do to help me to kind of find a job? You're just leveraging contacts. One of the biggest things in business we know is networking. Networking is so crucial and so key in today's market. So if you're going to go back into the workplace, or even if you're going to start your own business like I'm doing, you still need to network to leverage the clients and the clientele that you want. And the next thing is skills. How many of you have taken the time to sit down and write down what are your skills? What skills do you have? How do my skills fit into the next job that I'm going into? I would suggest that you take all of the free resources that are available out here on this World Wide Web, Dr. Google, Dr. YouTube, and learn how to leverage the skills that you have. If there are skills that you don't have, take the time to do a free course, a free training, a free workshop. There are so many free resources out here that sometimes we overlook because we get so caught up thinking that we have to pay for everything. No, you don't have to pay for everything. Sometimes if we just slow down, step back and look, we'll realize that there are resources that we can use to help us to get to where we're going. So those are really the tips that I want to share today. Just let me read them off again. Process what happened. Realize that it happened. You're traumatized for a moment, but you have to move on. Access your habits. What habits do you have? What are some of the things that you're doing that you need to cut out? As far as subscriptions, memberships, and things like that. You may have to let those go right now until you're able to get to the next step. Emergency funds. Do you have enough funds to cover you during this downtime? If you don't, look at finding some resources, a part-time job, some weekend work, something to keep you going while you're getting ready to go to the next job. Develop a plan. Be strategic about what you're doing as far as resumes and things like that. Networking, going out and meeting different people. Access your skills. Assess your skills. What skills do you have? Know yourself. Basically knowing yourself, knowing what you're good at, knowing the things you can do. Use all of those free resources that are out there to your advantage, because they're out there and they're out there for you. So make sure you do all of that. I'm doing that now currently since I've been unemployed since November of last year. I'm looking at Dr. YouTube, Dr. Google, all those things, and free training, free workshops. I got a workshop I have to go to tomorrow. So just make sure you leverage everything you can, because you have the time to do it. Just don't limit yourself. Make sure you're doing everything you need to do. So again, Milton Craft Man on a mission. I really appreciate you guys stopping by and joining the channel. Make sure you watch the previous videos so that you can stay up to date on what we've been talking about and going through the process of losing your job by either layoff or getting fired, and you can still survive. So again, reach out to me if you need to. All of the information will be in the description below. doing consulting now to help people through these type of things as they experience them in life. And I can speak from experience on how to get through it. And you can be just happy and joyful. This is not a time in your life just to waddle in pity, because you have so much to offer to so many people. So look forward to talking to you soon. Thanks again for watching the channel, and talk to you soon. Bye-bye.